We are so grateful to be supported by sponsors like our friends at Plaintext Capital. You know, investing in Web3 and cryptocurrencies isn't about jumping on the latest trends. It's about understanding where the market is headed and why. Plaintext Capital is a digital asset investment firm focused on long-term strategies backed by deep research, backing the best Web3 companies and protocols, and investing in the newest asset classes of the future. They believe that Web3 crypto will drive digital innovation for decades to come, creating significant value for investors. In fact, their team of highly skilled professionals work with institutions and serious individual investors who want clarity in a space full of hype and noise. So if you're looking to cut through the chaos and invest with purpose, Plaintext Capital brings a disciplined, high-conviction approach to investing. You can learn more and meet the team at plaintextcapital.com.
We are so grateful to be supported by these community champions: Sales MD, Team Friday, Realist Lab, Kiana Patterson, Diego Chavez, Jer Boucher, Heather Ryder, Janine Sua, Lily Roca, and Steve Kernan.
Hey, it's me and you, and we're back here for another weekly catch-up during the stoppage time between the end of our busy week and our weekends, which in Los Angeles this week means an early winter, rainy, cool weekend. We are supposed to get a lot of rain, even though we only get about 14 and a half inches of rain per year in the greater Los Angeles area. This weekend, some neighborhoods, including mine, apparently, from the forecasts, could get 3 to 4 to 4.5 inches of that total just in the next couple of days. So that's winter for us. This is what passes for winter for us. And normally, if you know me well enough to know over the years, I love nothing more than being out on my walks and even my hikes up to some of the tops of the local mountain preserves in the rain, in the clouds, in that kind of different climate. But obviously with the knee and the crutches, I'm not going to be doing that for the foreseeable future. So I'm just going to enjoy it like most people do from the confines of my apartment, looking out that window. But hey, it is another week in this long but kind of crazy fast journey of 2025 that's now passed us by. And as I enjoyed a conversation this week with my brand strategist and designer friend, Lynne, on this week's episode of Entrepreneurial Thinkers that just dropped, I also enjoyed some much needed creative brainstorming dialogue and conversation with my one and only super producer, Bernal from Mexico City. And it's funny to me that this week in which I'm talking about kind of the sandbox of playing and tinkering with the format and the style and the purpose of this show, Stoppage Time with Deanna, is the same week that you got to enjoy, we all got to enjoy and learn from Lynne as she helped us to understand how to build a brand for your business in 2025. And so I just like highlighting a couple of the key takeaways from that conversation with her, which, by the way, is a conversation that I've had with her repeatedly over the last almost, 20 years almost of our friendship. She reminded us of a couple of keys, kind of three main keys, really, to building a lasting brand in the modern world. And one is telling your unique story, always remembering the power of your own unique journey. And how that really is what draws people to you, to do business with you, to buy from you, et cetera. Two, making sure that your visual design fits with that authentic personality of yours. And then three, understanding your customers through deep discovery, through conversation. She really, really spent a lot of time going into detail about the various ways and mechanisms through which you can make sure that you're actually kind of touching base with your clients and your customers to understand what it is that they really view that you provide as being valuable to them, and so that you can cater not just the products and the services, but the messages. So really, again, three kind of keys: telling your unique story, understanding your customers through deep discovery, and then making sure that your visual design, the visual aspects of what you do, what you put out into the world on all these different platforms, matches your authentic personality. And back in the creative sandbox of our own business here, Deanna and I have begun exploring exactly that, like asking ourselves a lot of those questions that Lynne challenges us to ask, like the whys and the hows, to understand how we can creatively reshape and rebuild this part of our business and this particular product. So we're going to play with some of the ideas that she shared with us and that we've come up amongst ourselves between now and the end of the year as we settle on something that will refresh this Stoppage Time show every Friday in 2026. I think we've kind of already agreed we're always going to use it in some way to cross promote the powerful guests that we talk with on Entrepreneurial Thinkers every week, because those conversations just to me are so powerful and they're filled with so much valuable leadership wisdom, tactical advice, inspiring kind of histories for you all, right? That you can apply in your own world. But we could also do a whole bunch of different things. And some of the ideas that we've played with so far in the Sandbox could wind up showing up here in the next 6 to 8 weeks as we play with some of this between now and the end of the year, right? We could highlight former other guests from Entrepreneurial Thinkers and their wisdom via maybe unique clips or bringing clips of that show over into this show. We could tie this show together with like a weekly newsletter idea that we've bounced around for a few years, but we've not executed on yet. We could use it to answer audience or guest questions that get prompted to us in either other shows or audience through this show. We could break down and share tips and inspiration from all of that knowledge that's been archived over 185 and continuing shows on Entrepreneurial Thinkers. We could break it out by topics. We could talk about it by industry. We could talk about it by city. We could create little series that focus on different things from different places, countries, et cetera, and embed it here in this show. We could use it to tell the amazing stories and highlight the amazing stories of some of our sponsors and our partners who support our work and what we do, right? We could highlight my replies to questions and my experiences in different categories. And honestly, who knows what else? Like literally, as I remind Deanna all the time, we're limited only by our own imagination. But the bottom line is that we've got this place here, a place in which we get to have a conversation with you. It is a small complement to our main show, Entrepreneurial Thinkers, which drops every week, right? And our studio side clients are another part of our business. And those are the folks that we are now beginning to produce branded podcasts for their business brands, for their organizations, and for their communities. And so we've got these different, very complementary pieces of our business puzzle that we're understanding how we can best communicate it, how we can best share it with you all so that you can get the most value out of it while we also get value from the additional exposure. It'll always be a place where I can obviously also give you some insights of kind of the behind the scenes stuff into my life week to week. What's going on with my knee, how the weather is, how I feel about the sports landscape, what's going on in our political world that we're living through. And maybe even, sharing some of my hot takes or cold takes, depending on the week and my opinions. So we can always do that. We can always use it to share that kind of current events perspective. But we just agreed between us so far in this last 2 weeks that there's just so much more that we can do with it and that we want to do with it. And so that's why we're going to experiment with it. We're going to play with it now between now and the end of the year. And hopefully we'll come out of this with something pretty cool and much more inspiring and useful to you all and much more inspiring for us to create on a weekly basis. The bottom line lesson for me this week, while I continue to deal with the knee, while I continue to deal with the costs and complexities of our American healthcare system, and while I continue to kind of survive and navigate my way through the political moment that we're living through here in the United States, is that we own this platform to tell our stories to our audience. And so do you, right? Just like you do. You too own your own voice. It's uniquely yours, as Lynne reminds us. Right? There are nearly an unlimited number of tools and ways that you can tell your stories nowadays without waiting around for some bigger organization or community or media outlet to kind of give you your big break, right? Or tell the story for you. We all own our voices in this era of digital decentralization of business and branding. And yes, as Lynne reminded us this week, we are all our own unique, living, breathing brand story, just waiting to be told authentically by us. So it was kind of funny that this was the week that Deanna and I would start thinking and playing in our sandbox and thinking about how we could do this show better and what our voice was on this show. In the same week that I got to talk to my friend Lynne and pull so many lessons about how to build a great brand and how to build a sustainable, authentic brand in today's business world. So that's it. That's all I have to add for you this week. I'm just going to say happy weekend. If you live here in the LA area, obviously stay dry and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the rain, enjoy the kind of preview of winter. If you've got some cool creative ideas on how Deanna and I can play with stoppage time to make this better and more enjoyable, more productive, more valuable to you, just reach out to us. Hit me up on DMs, on socials, or reach out to me directly if you know me and you know my contact information. You can always email me as well, robryan@storytellerscompany.com. But other than that, it's as we head into this cold, rainy weekend, I'm just going to say I wish you all the peace, love, and joy as always. And this week, I give you a little bit of permission to kind of go out and get messy, play in the sandbox of your business, of your life, or your career, and just test out your ideas and see what story it is that really resonates with you as you go forward into your world on a daily basis. So, peace. We are so grateful to be supported by sponsors like our friends at Haney & Company. You know, we all know that in today's complex financial landscape, having a trusted advisor can make all the difference. Since 1960, Haney & Company has been providing comprehensive accounting services to a diverse range of clients, from small businesses to large corporations. With nearly 400 professionals across 13 locations, they offer services in tax, audit, business consulting, and client advisory. In fact, their commitment to excellence has earned them recognition from Accounting Today and Forbes magazines. At Haney & Company, though, it's not just about balancing books. It's about building lasting relationships based on trust and mutual growth. So visit HaneyCPAs.com, that's HaneyCPAs.com, to learn how they can support your business's financial journey.